Previously on His and Hers Gen X podcast.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be morbidly obese.
Yeah.
I always wondered how he got out because, the chimney's so close to the floor. How does he maneuver out of there?
They kind of answer that in Santa Claus the movie. Did you ever see that?
I didn't. No.
Oh, maybe we can watch
Tim
that
Allen?
one.
I haven't seen that one.
No, Santa Claus the movie, an 80s movie with Dudley Moore.
I don't even know about this.
And the guy who was in Big Lebowski, he was Santa Claus. I forgot his name.
Jeff Bridges?
No, the old guy.
I don't know. Okay,
we're getting way off topic.
I've heard of this before.
I can't believe you never saw Santa Claus.
Dudley
the movie.
Moore
It was
is the
Alexander
Santa Claus?
Salkind. Yeah, Dudley Moore was the head elf.
Oh, okay. Maybe we need to add that.
All right.
Because I have no idea
Maybe
what you're
that
talking
could be
about.
your pick next time.
And I love Dudley Moore, and you've never seen Arthur. So.
Now, this is the part where I show a clip from the last episode where somehow we were talking about David Huddleston. I'm like, from the Big Lebowski, and you're like, you thought I was talking about Jeff Bridges. I'm like, no, Santa Claus the movie. And you said, you didn't know what I was talking about.
Right. Now I know.
Yeah. All right. So we're back. So I just showed Cristina Santa Claus the movie, which was huge in my house growing up. By the way, this came out in '85, same year as Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I don't remember what year I saw it. I don't think I saw this in theaters, but I definitely remember seeing this on TV and VHS a lot. Like we either owned this movie or I had taped it off TV. Because there were certain parts of this movie where I was remembering line for line, beat for beat. Like I haven't watched this movie in at least 30 years.
But you remember the lines.
Yeah, and I liked it as a kid, and then in the early Nostalgia Critic days, he did a review of this, and I was kind of annoyed, that's a good movie. What are you talking about? And then I watched his review, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was me as an idiot kid loving this. But as an adult, I realized it's not that good. So, what do you think?
As I was watching this, I was thinking this is probably a nostalgic movie for our generation because as watching it for the first time as an adult, I was like, this movie's not great. This is kind of bad.
This is kind of like my equivalent of Last Unicorn for you. It's something you thought was awesome as a kid. You watch it as an adult, and you're like, it's pretty lame.
Yeah, it's definitely not epic. And there's some disturbing stuff, like the way this movie opens up.
Yeah. So, it starts out in kind of like a Lord of the Rings type setting. It's just something, generic medieval. Mm-hmm. Actually, I wrote this in my notes. It's
back in the old days.
Yeah, it seems like it's where the hobbits live or, just medieval St. Arthur or...
like medieval times?
King Arthur times. Yeah.
Okay. It was a long time ago.
And it was funny because I wrote this in my notes. I noticed this as a child. I just never, and I haven't. This is my first time ever bringing this up. So everybody it seems like it's England because everybody has an English accent, and then Santa Claus, he's the only one with an American present day accent. Even his wife has an English accent. Mm-hmm. And that always bugged me. I was like, wait, why doesn't he? So I'm like, Santa Claus is American, but his wife's British, or...
I did notice there was a wide variety of accents amongst the elves and the main actors, yeah. So, it took place in the North Pole. I don't know where the elves came from. There's no explanation. They're just there.
I know. It's, I think because actual Santa Claus is a just hybrid of several different mythologies, German, English, all these different ethnicities had, Saint Nick, Sinterklaas, Mm-hmm. And this movie basically, it goes on the same thing. It takes all these different Santa myths and puts them together, just things right out of songs even. 'Cause he's at one point, he says, we should only give toys to good kids, and not, and he's like, make a list of the naughty and nice kids. I'll be checking it twice,
Right. So the movie opens up, and they make it seem like Santa... He's not Santa yet. He's just some dude that sends toys to kids for no reason.
Yeah, they say he's Uncle Claus.
Okay, Uncle Claus, Mrs. Claus, and the reindeer die.
Yeah.
I thought, and I was like, this is how this movie opens up?
Yeah, they get stuck in a blizzard or snowstorm or something.
And they freeze to death. But they don't really, because the elves come and rescue them.
I know.
With their bright light.
I just kind of assumed, as a kid, okay, all the people we just watched had an English accent, so he's in England, but the elves are the North Pole, so... Or, did they sleigh ride all the way from England to the North Pole on land? That makes...
I don't understand it at all. How
Yeah.
did they know?
Or maybe they
I
were,
don't know. The prophecy
maybe they're
said
Norway. They should have given them all like Viking accents, so that you would think like they're okay, Norway, Finland, something like that.
Yeah, and they could have given them like little horns and everything.
Because
Viking
I think
horns.
Santa Claus is from some
Scandinavia.
Yeah, Santa Claus or something.
I saw a theory one time that maybe they drank the pee of reindeer that had mushrooms in it, and that caused them to invent Saint Nick. There's all kinds of theories but they're all pagan.
Yeah, so this movie, it starts out like very Wizard of Oz, just total fantasy, and it kind of turns on a dime when they kind of cut to present 1985, meeting the homeless boy, and like that all seemed very forced to me. It's like, wow, they stop exactly at the present day,
Well, okay. It kind of addressed a lot of things that I had thought about from the beginning, because Santa, like every time Santa's portrayed, they're making like generic like wooden toys.
Yeah.
Like they're making horses, rocking horses,
Yeah.
and block sets. Like they don't make modern toys.
Yeah, that's something I noticed as a kid. I'm like, shouldn't they show them like making Nintendos and
That's what I mean.
Transformers?
Like when I was growing up, my toys were like 90% plastic. Like I didn't have anything wood, maybe Lincoln Logs.
Yeah, stuff like that is for like toddlers, like a rocking chair and like a lot of those basic toys. But like even those basic toys are now factory made and have all kinds of features and things.
But it kind of addresses that because he's old school. Like
Yeah.
our generation wanted like the good plastic toys, and that's where Mr. BZ comes in.
They kind of address that with like for season Ballerina. Like everybody knows he makes shoddy toys.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I mean they could have done a whole movie between the first and second acts, of how society is growing up with technology, but Santa Claus is staying the same, and like he would lose his, like he would just be considered like a third-rate, magical like the Tooth Fairy,
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you believe in that, like they really crowbar that in here to make the hero kids, Cornelia and Joe, kind of like martyrs of their like. The other kids are making fun of them that they still believe in Santa Claus, And that one scene where the other kids throw him into a fence, that disturbed me as a kid.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think you were in the bathroom or looking at your phone or something. Yeah,
I missed it, so it didn't disturb me, obviously.
Yeah. It's weird.
Oh, the bullies.
Yeah.
When he gets bullied. Yeah, he's like the Roger or the Artful Dodger type character from Oliver.
Yeah.
He's got an expensive leather jacket and he lives outside. This little kid, and I guess he has no parents and he's dirty.
Yeah, they don't even address that at all. Like, dude, where's your parents?
Nothing.
It's not like he's some 20-something-year-old junkie.
Right. He's
just
a little 8-year-old boy living on the street. How sad is that?
I said he reminds me of Nelson Muntz from The Simpsons.
Oh, I got Artful Dodger. I was
but a little
expecting him
more
to like
Christmas, a little cuter than Nelson.
Yeah, I was expecting him to like break out in song and dance about his hard life on the streets. And then this little girl, Cornelia.
Yeah, Cornelia.
She's rich.
Yeah.
She takes sympathy on him and like feeds him.
Yep. And then we find out that her uncle is the villain played by John Lithgow. And,
Mr. Beasy.
Yeah, so this is when the movie turns on a dime from the fantasy Wizard of Oz, Lord of the Rings type stuff to super campy sitcom vibes. Like John Lithgow is like just a living, breathing cartoon. And I think like as a little, like I didn't pick up on that as a kid because like as a kid I thought it was funny, like this. It reminds me of like something you would see on TV.
Yeah.
Watching it now, I'm like, oh my god, like it's this weird juxtaposition of like imagine Wizard of Oz and like Batman 66 in the same universe,
He's like a super villain character out of a comic book or a
100%,
cartoon. And
yeah.
I think I love John Lithgow, and I feel like that's what he was going for because even he does like the evil like thing, when he's
Mr.
talking.
Burns on The Simpsons,
And when he's doing something evil, he starts laughing maniacally, like Sideshow Bob.
Yeah.
He's like a Sideshow Bob type character.
Yeah, Mr. Burns, Sideshow Bob,
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
So he's like, but he came before they did, so maybe they were mimicking him. But I thought that
Probably.
he was like, because I love Dudley Moore and like Arthur, which you haven't seen yet, but he's so big in that movie. And he plays the elf in this movie. What's his name? Sticky?
Patch.
Oh, Patch.
Sticky. You weren't even close.
He plays Patch, and I don't know, he kind of sucks, right? Don't you think he's, like, underacting here? Like,
Yeah,
he could
I
have
don't
been
feel
bigger.
He's playing like a kid's movie, and
He didn't know how to do it.
I feel a lot of that, like a lot of stuff was probably green screen anyway. You know, he wasn't
Yeah.
playing off other people. But yeah, it's weird because you have this mix of, you know, English elf, American business tycoon.
Yeah, I don't think Dudley Moore knew how to play an elf in a PG movie, honestly. Like, he was really ill-fitted for this role, whereas John Lithgow was, like, the comic relief here, and he was bigger than the picture. So he was good.
Did you want to get back to something at the beginning? I skipped over this. So
What?
Like at the beginning, they leave the house, they start going somewhere, get caught in a snowstorm, and it looks like they just, you know, freeze and they fall asleep.
Yeah.
And it never occurred to me as a kid that they died. And then the elves come. So, like, the mystery is, like, did the elves come and save them, or did they die and they go, like, Santa Claus is now reincarnated as, you know, Saint Nick or whatever. Like, it's funny. And one thing they never address in this whole movie, you know, Christmas. By the way, we just did a review of this beer on our channel.
That's why we're burping.
You know, like, they keep talking about Christmas, but they never say, like, what Christmas is about or who you know, it's Christ. You know, like, that's never once addressed. Because, like, that's like, you know, there's two Christmases, really. You know, church Christmas and
Commercial
Santa
Christmas.
Claus Christmas.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of hardcore Christians, like, don't celebrate Santa Claus Christmas. But, I mean, you can be Jewish or any Muslim or anything. A lot of people celebrate, you know, Santa Claus Christmas just for the presents.
Yeah, my family wasn't Christian, and we celebrated Christmas because Christmas meant presents and eating and being family and stuff like that. It meant different things. So I identify with, like, commercial Christmas.
Because, like, you know, in the King Arthur days, when they said Christmas, they meant a Christian holiday. And because, like, apparently Christmas didn't become a commercialized holiday till, like, you know, 20th, 19th century. You know, up until then, it was just like any other holiday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never actually researched that, but that's a rabbit hole I'd be willing to go down. Like, when did they start doing the tree and gifts and all that?
Yeah, it wasn't until late 19th, early 20th century.
Oh, man.
You know? So.
I was going to say Santa Claus was a passive dude. Mm-hmm. He just did whatever the elves told him to do. Like, the elves come and get him from the dead, and I don't know if he feels like he owes them something for saving him, but they're like, you're going to live with us. And he says, okay.
I know.
You're going to build toys for free. Okay. He just does everything.
That's such a weird thing, because, you know, this reminds me, Harry Potter is based on the same premise, is that, you know, like, these magical people just come and get him, and, like, he drives, you know, he goes to Hogwarts, and, like, all the kids love him, and, like, they're said, like, because he's, like, the prophecy or the chosen one or whatever.
Right.
Which, same thing in Santa Claus the movie. They say he's the chosen one.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wonder if J.K. Rowling stole anything from this movie.
Yeah, they have, like, a wise old Gandalf type elf, and he says he was the prophecy, and he's old, so of course he knows.
Yeah, so that was played by Burgess Meredith.
Who?
You probably know him as Mickey and Rocky. He was Rocky's coach.
I still haven't seen that.
He was the Penguin in Batman 66.
All right. We'll get to know him in some other movies, I guess. But...
Yeah, who's a famous actor back then, you know?
Yeah.
That was his last role before he died.
He was shaking in the movie. Like, I could tell he was, like, visibly shaking. I was like, this guy's got to be old. I didn't know that he died not long after that. Makes sense, though.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I always thought he was supposed to be God, because he has, like, his beard is so long, there's, like, people carrying it for him. You know, I was like, oh, so I just assumed that was supposed to be God telling him, you know, you're Santa Claus. I mean, it's like, if you're bestowed Santa Claus by God, okay, I can believe that.
He's just
credited
coming
as
down. Hi, I am God.
He's just credited as ancient elf. But,
yeah, they don't introduce him. He's just there.
Yes, I mean, it's another ambiguous part. Like I have a feeling the producers did that, so it's like, you decide, is it God or is it, you know, just because we never see him again, he disappears. It's kind of like, and speaking of the elves, is like, if they're all 50 to 80-year-old white men, you know, I don't think there's any mixed race in there, and there's no women, which of course begs the question, how do they reproduce? Mrs. Claus is the only woman in the whole compound.
Oh my god, can you imagine being the only woman in a compound full of male elves?
I know. I guess they're all eunuchs or asexual.
They're all immortal, right? Don't they go through centuries supposedly of doing this? Don't they count down the time?
I guess if they're immortal, but I mean, you could be immortal and still be amorous.
I guess. I don't. Yeah, I don't know why this was discriminatory toward female elves, but it was.
I'm trying to think. Like, there's a running theme among elf plots is that the elf leaves. Yes. Like in the Rankin Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Hermie the elf leaves to become a dentist, and then in this movie, Patch leaves to like pair up with BZ Toys, and then in the Will Ferrell elf movie, he leaves to go. Well, he wasn't really an elf to begin with, but it's still about an elf leaving and going to the real world.
Elves, they don't communicate their feelings and say, "Hey, Santa, I think you're mad at me. Are you okay?" They just leave. And they're like, so he goes to BZ Toys to prove himself to Santa after his 1 year of quality control issues. Mm-hmm. He goes to a toy company that has broken glass and nails in their teddy bears.
I remember watching that as a kid and being like, that's like, I don't believe that for like that's a little over the top trying to sell it. Like,
I'd like to know how that stuff got in there.
That's just totally sitcom-y campy.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, like as if they're gonna like put nails inside toys on purpose, you know, or how could that even like accidentally happen? It makes no sense. I mean, it's a funny visual gag.
It's a funny visual gag. I laughed at it, but it seems like that would have put them out of business.
Yeah,
honestly, because weren't they testifying in front of the Senate about their just? But Patch the Elf comes and tries to save BZ Toys.
Yeah. Did you know BZ is like a military term?
For what?
Was Bravo Zulu is the NATO codes, but it's a code. It's like for well done or good job, and I never got that until I joined the Navy. And it was like BZ Toys, like well done toys, but they're complete opposite. They're all shitty toys.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So you got that reference.
Yeah, I didn't get it until like 2002.
They invent these lollipops that make the kids float.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking it was inspired kind of like by Wonka, like the fizzy lifting drink.
Yeah. This movie had a lot of parallels with Willy Wonka, the original, not the Tim Burton one.
It did. I think it borrowed a lot of visual cues from them.
Yeah.
Not only with that, but just like the gadgets that the elves would use were very Wonka-esque.
Yeah.
In their own way.
And they're kind of like, it's funny, they dance a lot, but they never sing.
Thank God.
It's like the only time that elves, you see a movie with Santa Claus and elves, and the elves aren't like a chorus line.
They usually sing while they're working to pass the time, but these elves were silent. They were just heavy workers.
I was saying, I think half the budget went to the costumes. It's like each elf has a full detail, and it's fun. They're very colorful costumes. Mm-hmm. Although the actual print we watched, I think, was like VHS or something.
Well, we watched it for free on
Tubi.
On Tubi, and the quality was pretty bad.
The commercials were at the same point as the commercials were on TV in the 80s.
I think so, because they always ended at the exact appropriate time. They never ended, sometimes it'll end mid-scene.
Because I remember, there were certain, where the ad breaks started and stopped. I remember that as a kid, and, when it would come back, there would be, a few lines I didn't remember because I was late hitting unpause when I recorded it off TV, you know?
You're so right. When you record something off of TV onto VHS, you would remember where the commercial breaks were after a while because you would watch it over and over again. I forgot about that. You just remember.
Usually, when it comes back from commercial break, there's a local ad or network ad.
Yeah. There's some movies I've seen enough where I know where the commercial break is supposed to be.
That's like when we were watching Empire Strikes Back, I think in episode 4, saying I remember this was where the commercial breaks were.
Yes.
And there's certain parts that I just didn't tape and I forgot that they were there. So anyway.
They make and then they give out the lollipops for free,
right.
And then they decide to do Second Christmas and invent a heavy, I guess it makes them fly into space.
I know.
It's a
candy cane.
A candy cane and a march. That doesn't make much sense.
And they say they're explosive and John Lithgow being such an evil villain, just the over the top. His lawyer's these could kill people. He's like, who cares? Make them anyway. It's total Mr. Burns.
I want to know how they found out the candy canes were dangerous. Who was the test subject that blew up or flew off into space?
He said he left a case by the radiator and the lab exploded.
Oh.
That was something I didn't
I
notice
missed
as a
that
kid
part.
either. Did you? He says there's no more lab, and as a kid, I always thought he said there's no more left.
Yeah.
I didn't get that until just now. I was like, oh yeah, there's no more lab. That makes more sense.
Okay. I just didn't. I missed that part. That I guess I didn't understand that either.
I wrote down. I love the part where John Lithgow, just being the evil villain, he goes, "Oh, I love cracking my knuckles." I don't remember that as a kid, but that as an adult, it's so campy. It's funny.
It's funny because it's
Yeah.
like something you would say too,
Yeah.
like as an adult.
No, that's super villain dialogue, you know.
Nah. Do you want to talk about when did you realize there was no Santa? Did you grow up like believing in Santa Claus?
Yeah, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all that.
Yeah.
And I always found it such a weird coincidence that the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny all had the same handwriting as my mom.
On the tag, you could tell.
And also, like, it took, like, maybe not as a little, but as a little kid, I could, because you know how women's handwriting is more curvy and loopy, and men's handwriting is more like bricky and, you know, like staticky, or, you know, like it's more sharp edge, whereas women's is
Men
curved
write really
and-
small too. I
Yeah.
noticed. And women write big.
I was like, wow, Mom, Santa Claus has the same handwriting as you.
And she just fessed up.
No, they told me, I can't remember.
I can't remember how old
Third
I
grade,
was.
maybe?
I was thinking probably third grade.
Yeah.
For me, it's what we didn't have a chimney because I grew up in Florida, and Santa
We didn't
always
either.
comes down a chimney. So I was grilling from
Yeah.
a very early age. What does he come through the front door? We don't hear him. And they'd
I
be
always thought
"Eh."
that too.
And then the boxes, like that would say Hasbro, would be in our garage. And
Yeah.
I finally questioned them. Why does he leave them here? And they fessed up. I was probably about 8, I guess, when that happened. And I remember telling a kid at school, and he was like, "That's a lie." He didn't believe me, so he kept believing. Good for him.
Yeah, we kind of got off topic though.
I
So,
wanted
as
to.
far as
I
the-
wanted to discuss like our childhood Christmas.
Yeah, that's fun. I remember being old enough helping my parents carry the presents down while my sister and brother were sleeping.
Oh, because they still believed.
Yeah,
Aw.
that was only a year or two maybe, but
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I love this movie as a kid, but as an adult, it's pretty silly. It's sorry, cats are going nuts.
The hell?
I don't think it's a terrible movie. I would not call this a bad movie. It's like okay, you know, it's definitely watchable. But it's funny, like whatever cachet Gremlins had for you, like this one had for me. Although I think I would actually rather watch Gremlins than this one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this one it's not like it doesn't have the charm of like a Home Alone or Christmas Story or something like that.
No.
It's just like I just remember I liked it because I watched it a lot as a kid. I don't know why. But I did. But like watching it now, it doesn't really hold up. Whereas I can watch Christmas Story or Home Alone,
Yeah.
and it's still as entertaining now as it was then.
Well, I mean, Home Alone and Gremlins there's more going on. It moves faster. There's a lot more plot. This movie was very slow.
Yeah,
At some
it was an
points.
hour and 46 minutes, probably at least 2 hours with commercials.
It was so long. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have probably been 75
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
and been fine.
well, I don't know what 75, but
75 minutes. It's been done.
It could have been. It could have
80.
been 90. Yeah,
75, 80,
This
90
that was like
max.
Return to Oz. Like that was super slow and long too.
Yeah, there was a lot of shots with no dialogue in this that didn't need to be there, and
And like,
Well,
there's not even a real climax either. Like it
It's-
just ends with them saving Patch and Joe from the exploding car, and like that doesn't really wrap up the plot. It's just something that happens that
It
in
doesn't.
an action, and it's they
Yeah,
did the
it keeps
loop de
going.
loop, and it's like completely pointless. You could have just flew underneath them,
Yeah,
or you know, that was just something to show off to impress kids, you know.
yeah. It doesn't look
But it's-
impressive now on a big screen TV.
It's like impractical and probably counterproductive and just
Yeah, I feel
dumb.
like they didn't like leave anything on the cutting room floor in this movie. Like everything made it in here
Yeah.
because there were some scenes like remember they were laying in bed, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, and he got up. He's like, "I'm gonna get up."
yeah.
There was no point to that scene at all. I thought they were gonna like do something else because they were
Yeah.
in bed, but it's a children's movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a lot of scenes that didn't. So to me, I can see why this didn't become a holiday classic. I'm glad you liked it as a kid, though. I thought maybe as a kid it wouldn't have maybe engaged me very much. I don't know.
Do you remember anybody like talking about it or anything?
I never even heard of this movie. When you said Santa Claus the movie, I thought of like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I never heard of this.
Well, I never thought of this movie as like some kind of underground, something nobody ever saw. Like, did you ever see Year Without a Christmas? Yeah.
I'd be curious if you've seen this before. Comment down below, because to me this is like very obscure.
Or actually, when the movie ended, it suggested Prancer as the next one.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real underground Christmas movie too. I remember seeing that in the theaters. I don't think I've seen it since.
But I remember the name Prancer. I remember that playing in theaters.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments. Was Santa Claus the movie mainstream or a deep cut? Because to me, it was always mainstream.
Yeah. And
But you're saying it's more deep cut.
To me, it's deep cut.
Yeah,
I never had a friend that watched this. Maybe it just didn't make it to Florida.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Movie?
It didn't play on cable here.
I know. It's not like it's like some David Lynch movie that only nerds watch,
It is definitely not David Lynch. A 2-year-old can understand this movie. They'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm glad we saw it after all these years, but I would not be any of these 4 I could watch every Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
Santa Claus the movie, it's like, I'll see it if I see it,
Yeah, I think once was enough.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I saw it.
Well, the Salkinds, the producers of this, they also made all the Superman movies of the 80s and Supergirl.
Oh, you recognize the name?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with this director. But yeah.
John Knott.
Yeah, I have no
Salkin.
idea. Anyway, so I guess you got the next pick.
Yeah.
You thought about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll surprise you.
I'm sure it'll be Christmas themed.
It's going to be Christmas themed, of course.
All right. Speaking of which, check out our review of Abita Christmas Ale. Put a link in the description below. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers. See
Bye.
you on the flip side.